All right, everybody. This is Tyson Bradley, and you're listening to the Inherent Identity Podcast. And I have got a special guest here with me. Her name is Mindy Neal. She is a good friend of mine, and we have both been in the coaching world for a time. I think I've been coaching, oh man, it's like 5 years. What about you, Mindy? How long has it been for you?
I got certified at the end of 2019.
2019.
So a little less.
So three years. That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
And the thing is too, you've done, how many coaching calls do you say that you've done?
Over 10,000.
Over 10,000?
Yep.
That's amazing. Okay. So here's the thing. We have a very experienced coach here, and I don't know, I guess maybe you could also share a little bit about you if you were to describe, yeah, this is me in a nutshell. What would you say?
I'm adventurous. I'm fun. I like to make everything light, even when we're talking about serious things, because why not? So I don't take myself or life too seriously. I'm an achiever. I like to be productive, like kind of that A-line personality.
That's awesome. How many kids do you have?
5.
5 kids.
Three are my husband's and 2 are mine. So we are blended. So it's 3 and 2.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of, I guess in terms of hobbies, what are your hobbies?
I don't even know how to answer that anymore. Building a business pretty much is like what I do in my time.
In your extra time? Yeah.
That's kind of what I do.
Yeah.
I love to go hiking. My husband and I do that every weekend. That's like my thing. And then his thing is frisbee golf. So we usually go do that once a week.
Ooh, frisbee golf is good.
Yeah. We like to camp and play card games and board games and just like hang out with our family.
I had no idea. I love board games as well.
Well, we should definitely do that sometime.
Then we'll just play all the games and go camping, all the things. I love it. Okay, so I brought Mindy on mainly because she has an experience of applying the process. And in the last episode, I shared the I am me process, where we talked about how do you actually change your identity? Because people talk about being and like become a new person all the time, but there isn't a framework, or it's hard to find the how-to of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's always so vague. And so I feel like the work that we've done and the work that you've done has been that of applying an actual process to changing and to becoming someone new. So I know that you mentioned in our group call that you made a change with your like health and your eating. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So could you give me like, I'd love to hear the backstory of the challenge and everything that you tried up until the point where you applied this new process.
Okay. So I have an autoimmune disease, which will kind of flare up and go back down and, things like that. So that's like my underlying condition. And then in January of 2020, before the whole world went crazy, I actually got COVID then. And it woke up 2 viruses in my body that were dormant. This is like viruses that do this. They go in, you get sick, and then they just go dormant and they like hibernate in your body until something like, it could be childbirth, it could be divorce, it could be like something traumatic to your body happens.
Interesting.
So COVID was traumatic for me. So one of the viruses is Epstein-Barr, and one of them is called cytomegalovirus. And I just lost all of my energy, like all of it. I could like lay down and fall asleep within 10 or 20 seconds at any moment in the day, every single day.
Wow.
Like just so tired. And I gained like 40 pounds. So for the past few years, I've been working with all different kinds of alternative medicine doctors, different specialists, trying to like figure out how to get those back either dormant or gone. And I've done a lot of like more things to take care of myself than anyone I've ever known on the planet. And I've made some progress, but not the kind of progress I want. But the biggest problem is it's always been such a chore. Everything I have to do is a chore. Like I have this like giant list and I'm willing to do them because I'm a coach. I've done a lot of thought work on I matter and, all like I'm really good at making myself matter and making it a priority.
Yeah.
But it still all feels like things that I have to do to take care of. Like otherwise I can't function. I mean, the last doctor I went to, he actually looked at my virus numbers and he said, I can't believe you can get out of bed in the morning. And in that time, I switched careers. I've gotten promotion after promotion. I started a business all because I'm willing to like do the things to take care of myself. But it has felt so hard the whole time.
So in terms of like the long list of things that you had to do, because I'm guessing you go to the doctor and they're saying, okay, from what we understand, from what we know about this virus, like these are the habits or like these are the things that you would do on a daily basis to mitigate the tiredness and stuff. What are some of the things?
It's how I eat. It's how I move my body. It's the supplements that I'm taking. Mostly when you say doctors give me ideas, they actually don't.
Oh, okay.
I try them and I'm like,
Okay.
I try whatever it is they're offering and they're like, yeah, I can't really help you. So this is going to a different kind of doctor at least once a week. I started doing Qigong. I'm really drawn to it. I think it helps, but
cool.
still haven't made the progress I want. It's like, I've just tried lots and lots and lots of things. And then when I don't see progress, like with my eating, for example,
right.
Of course, my brain's like, well, screw this. It's not helping. I'm still tired. I'm still gaining weight. So it's like, it requires so much effort and so much thought work and so much just constant trying just to like keep up with all of it.
Because I feel like for me, because one of my challenges was just eating sweets and trying to eat healthy, much like you want to do to take care of your body. And I had tried some of the methods that are taught within the self-help world. And one of those being just like feel your urges. It's like allow this urge to do something you don't want to do, be there and not act on it. And for me, when I tried to apply that kind of tool, it just like to sit there or to catch myself in the moments where I had it was very, very difficult. And I found that I was just like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, what is there? And honestly, I feel like it was the process of identifying something that I could resonate with and that I could live into as like an identity statement. It's like, I am a sugar shunner. It's like, I say no to sweets. It wasn't until that point where it's like the moment I said that and the next day I have lunch, and normally the process or the habit is I have lunch and then I have this like,
Oh, I know that one all too well.
You're just like smacking your lips and thinking, I want it like a fruit leather or something sweet, a cookie and it wasn't until it's like, wait, no, I'm a sugar shunner. Like that's who I am. So I say no to the sweets. And so I say no to it. And then I reinforce who I am. And all of a sudden it was just like, it was easy and I could do it again and again and again. And so I would love for you to share just kind of what you came up with after learning this process and how it's changed things for you.
Yeah. So the statement that I picked.
Yeah.
I am a wellness warrior.
Nice.
Which I love.
Yeah.
And here is what it has done is it's just made everything like the obvious choice. It took all of the drama out of my brain. And now if I don't make one of those choices, rather than like the good choice feeling like hard, the not good choice feels like it's out of alignment. Like I'm uncomfortable if I don't make the wellness warrior choice, because it feels now suddenly like that's not who I am. So
Mhm.
like, for example, this morning, my husband is out of town and we work out together. So before this, I'd have been
Yeah.
like, I don't need to go. We work out together. It's more fun with him. It's fine if I miss a day. So step one, that would have happened.
Yep.
But then the next step, so this morning, obviously my brain did that. And I was like, brain, seriously, wellness warriors do not just stay in bed, they go work out.
Yeah.
But then we ride our bikes to the gym, which is what we've been doing since I started this, because that just feels to me like it's only a mile and a half away. And I'm like, well, obviously a wellness warrior doesn't like get in the car and like drive this little teeny bit. And so again, my brain's like, okay, fine, we can work out, but we don't have to ride our bike. And I was like, nope, that's not true either. Wellness warriors get on their bike and they ride to the gym. And so it's just made everything easy. And if I either hadn't worked out or if I had gotten the car, like that
Yeah.
would have been the uncomfortable choice because it
Interesting.
felt out of alignment with who I am now.
I love that you said it in that way, just because as I think about, there have been times, for example, where like on my birthday, it's like I choose not to be a sugar shunner.
I
It's
did the
like,
same on my birthday. It was just a couple
yeah,
weeks ago.
yeah. It's like I choose this, like, okay, I'm choosing not to be a sugar shunner today, and I like willingly eat, and it's not a problem. And I can so easily transition back to who I am and who I want to be. It's like one day I want to be a sugar shunner, the other day I want to just be with my family and be present. But there have been times where I it's like I think I can try and use that excuse. Like I went to my sister's for like 4th of July, and they had, the grill, and then they had like some sweets and other things like that. And I remember having some, but like you said, it just feels wrong. It
Yeah.
just
Not
feels like,
not guilt. Like it
no,
used to be like like a judgment beat down thing. It doesn't feel like that. It just feels like this isn't who I really am.
it just feels off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that the flip side of just feeling off when you don't follow through, it makes it so much easier to bounce back, or not. And it's not really even a bouncing back. It's just a reminding, oh, I didn't like that. That's not who I really am. And it's so much easier to live into the habits that you do want and that you are
Right. I've actually
practicing.
felt really grateful for the times when I have made those other choices
Yeah.
because it like shows me the comparison.
Right.
And I really like instead of like I think sometimes we're always trying or striving
Yeah.
to do better, to be better. Striving and trying are both exhausting.
Yeah.
And as someone who's already tired, and then I'm always striving or trying,
Right.
like I'm like more tired. And so when I can just be like, I am a wellness warrior, it took away all the resistance. It made it the easy choice. It made it the aligned choice. It all just feels good. And I'm not like using the scale or using my energy levels to sabotage me. Like, because
Yeah.
usually my brain's like, it's not working. We should definitely just go have some chocolate because we're not getting the result we want.
Hmm.
But now I'm like, brain, that's irrelevant. I'm a wellness warrior. These are choices
Hmm.
I make because that's who I am, not because I want to see a certain number on the scale.
Right.
Not like it doesn't actually matter. This is just who I am now. So obviously these are the choices I make.
So it's as though, because a lot of people that I've talked with, it's like they'll use external circumstances, or they'll use the scale to either beat themselves up or to judge themselves, and their emotions are tied to that, tied to
Totally.
some external result. And so what I hear you saying is that, okay, it removes that because it's not about that. It's
No.
not about the even external result. All what it's about is just about being the person that you know you really are.
Yes.
Okay.
So those other things now, like if I were to go get a giant soda, which by the way, I lived on because
Yeah.
I was trying so hard to get energy, right? I was
Mm,
like, I will take anything. Just let me have anything so that I don't like pass out. I need to get through the day. I need to be able to do my work or hang out with my kids. I
yeah.
was like living on giant sodas. And now that feels like so out of alignment. Like I'm not
Mm.
tempted to go get one at all. Cause it's just like, oh yeah, that's not who I am. That's not what I do.
Were you surprised?
Oh yeah, I was really surprised how easy it was.
Because that's what my experience was. I was just like, I have battled this for 3+ years. And how is it that saying this one statement that's just fun to me to say and proud to like live into, how is it that I could say this one statement that it could create all of this? And that's part of what gets me so excited. It's kind of like Mel Robbins. She has a book like the 5 second rule where she just
Mhm.
talks about her story of like saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it's like that being the thing that gets her up out of bed and
Mhm.
activating all these things. So is there a way that you feel like you could explain the magic? I don't know if you've thought about this, but I, I just I just wonder, like when you go through this, I think we've talked about elements of what makes it work, but for you, is there anything else that you think? I think that this is why it's so helpful.
I mean, the alliteration definitely helps. It
Hmm.
makes it more fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can explain the magic. I just like felt into it and it just truly felt like who I was.
Hmm.
It's like letting go of any of the evidence my brain likes to show me that that's not true. Like just putting it all aside for a minute and feeling into the truth of the statement. Like,
Yeah. No, I hear you there. And one thing that I have found that I think is interesting, because for me, some of my statements that I say have evolved. Like I've changed them. And one is the phrase like I am patient. That's what I used to say. I am patient. Uh it's like I show up to my kids with love and understanding instead of like frustration and annoyance or whatever. And it wasn't working very well.
mm-hmm,
And so like I transitioned to another one where it's like I am a calm connector. I breathe and ask what would love do. So it's like, okay, that's simpler. And it means the same thing. And then that didn't work. Or at least that didn't really help too much.
mm-hmm,
And then I like heard the parable of the prodigal son. I was reading through it and other things like that. And I came up with like, I am a prodigal papa. And there was something about that that resonated
mm-hmm.
and you could feel it. And whether it's a story, whether it's a character, whether it's something that you just enjoy to say, I think that there's something important about experimenting with words and feeling into what does resonate with you, because if it resonates with you and you can believe it right now and you can actually feel it, because that's an important piece to it too, is it's not just a mantra. This isn't just a thing that you say again and again in hopes that it will change something. It's something that you say and resonate with and believe immediately. And when you do that, I think that that feeling piece is a pivotal part. What do you think?
Definitely. And I also think, I mean, the one you found that you liked is when you're reading the scriptures, right? There is something to relying on the spirit as you
Yeah.
go through this process. Because I've made a whole bunch of others and
Mm,
I'm working with you on my business. This wellness warrior has nothing to do with that.
right.
Like I would love to have come up with something that made me thousands of dollars at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think that is where like my first step is. So
Yeah.
I think part of it is like really being in tune. And again, it's like feeling into like, what is my next my next part of me that I want to remember and step into and be. And maybe
Yeah.
it's not the thing that maybe you're distracting yourself with the wrong area because that's not really where your work is. I don't know.
I think that's an interesting point because it's like I have a number that I'm reciting every morning to myself. And I think what would be interesting is to have a list and to consider who do I want to be today and allowing that to be a discerning thing. If you're working on one and you know that it's in the bag, like for me, I am a sugar shunner is situational. So I don't need to repeat it every morning. I just know that around lunchtime and around dinner time, like that's when I do it. And honestly, I don't really even need to like practice it anymore in the morning because it's a part of me. And I don't need to think about it because there is no resistance anymore. It's just that's who I am. And so you don't question it. It's much like I don't say to myself every morning, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It's just part of me. It's part of my life, part of my lifestyle, part of what I do. And
Right.
so I do the things that a member would do, and it's not as deliberate. So I don't know. Do you repeat the Wellness Warrior every single morning?
Yeah, I still have to practice it
Okay.
because like I said, there's like 1,000 things I do all day. It's not just one moment
Right.
or another moment. It's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And so like recently, my identity was stolen. So my whole brain is taken up by like doing all those things to go out and take care of that. And I noticed I wasn't practicing because my brain was so focused on that. And so I did start making different choices. And then afterwards, I just realized, oh, it's because I'm like, I haven't practiced enough so that it is
Okay.
as solid as I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, right? Like
Right.
that, you're right. That's totally solid to me.
Yeah.
I am a wellness warrior still takes practice for me. But when I remember, it's everything is easy. It's only when I forget because I'm distracted by
By
other
other
things in
things.
life
Okay.
that I make other choices. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
still in the remembering process and really
Yeah.
like making it part of all of me.
That's it's funny one that your identity, like your actual physical identity in the world, like was stolen.
I know.
I don't, no one can steal your like spiritual identity
Yes, that's true. But
for
they
all you out
can
there.
steal your other thing, your worldly things.
And what's interesting too is it's such an interesting like analogy just because um I think that other people can steal your identity in the sense of distracting you.
Yeah, that could be true.
Because it's like in your example, like handling this thing, this external thing, distracted you enough from who you really are.
Yeah, it's like I just forgot.
It's like it stole your identity twice.
Seriously, that's not cool at
That's
all.
ridiculous. Rude.
Really rude.
Okay. Now, have you seen like, I guess how long have you been doing this and what would you say has been the change like physically in terms of your energy and everything that you've done since becoming a wellness warrior?
I definitely do have more energy. I don't think I've taken a nap in like the past month.
That's awesome.
So definitely making progress.
Yeah.
I love my workouts. I am not one of those exercise people. Like my idea of like if I made really bad choices on earth and went to hell, I would be running marathons for eternity. Like I'm not one of those people. I don't get a runner's high. I don't like exercise.
Yeah.
And I love my workouts. Like it's like doesn't even occur to me to not go and do it.
It's so fascinating. There's just like it's almost like choosing to become who you really want to be and who you really are just brings joy to the doing.
Yes, it's no longer a chore. It's no
Yeah.
like even we had a business event the past couple days and I didn't
Yeah.
get to go to do my workout.
Yeah.
I'm like disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I really wanted to get my workout in today. Like, because that's who I am. Yeah, it brings joy, it brings ease. There's just no drama. It's not a chore. So now I don't have to try anymore, and I don't have to strive anymore, which are
Right.
both exhausting. I can just be, and it's so much easier.
It kind of reminds me of like when, say, my scripture study became fun or just like something I really enjoyed and something that was a part of me. It's like when I didn't get it, it's like I missed it. It's just like, oh, like I really wanted to do that. Where other people are just like scripture study every day is like, oh, it's like so hard and like
It's the worst. I can't
it's the
get
worst.
it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so I think this is such a process of transformation. And for a habit to be something easy and for the change to come so quickly, that's what excites me the most. And in terms of I think you mentioned before the call, it's like you've just done focused on one. You
Mhm.
haven't, I don't know, maybe have you practiced others?
Not a ton. Like I have a list. I've taken some time to be thoughtful and
Yeah.
figure some out I want, but my brain loves to do one thing at a time.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
like I want to practice this till it's like so much a part of me that I
Yeah.
don't forget when things happen.
Right. Right.
And then I will pick my next one to like really just live into. Just that's
Yeah.
how my brain works the best.
I think that that's important because I think for some people, um, it's like one thing at a time is going to be the thing. And one thing that I found is I think I was just so excited to apply this to like other little things.
Mhm.
And so I was like taking cold showers, remembering people's names. Like that was something that I wanted. And so we went to this event in the past couple of days and I'm just like, I'm a nabber. It's just like I'm a name nabber. That's what I do. And it's like I wrote down everyone's name and I would like think about them and I would focus on that. And it's not like there's anything magical that's happening. It's just that I've assigned an identity to and paired it with an action or paired it with all the actions that I know about how to remember names.
Yeah.
And so much like you, like wellness warrior isn't just for one action. It is part of it is exercise, it is eating healthy, it is taking your supplements, it is all the other things that you know to do
Mhm.
to take care of your health. Yeah.
Which could be why I can only do one at a time because
Yeah.
it's not one of the things. It
Yes.
envelops so many things.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's why I'm like, okay, just this one.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I couldn't pick another small one to do, but
Well, it's like if you were to take the book Atomic Habits or Tiny Habits, right? It's like they have both have their processes for changing habits and whatnot.
mhm.
And Tiny Habits method would be like, okay, after I um uh after I wake up, I will put on my running shoes. It's like that's the formula. It is like, okay, let me do this. After I do a habit that I'm already doing, let me do a new habit and then I'll celebrate. And it works for people. It's great. But can you imagine trying to do that for every single one of your health things?
No, not there's way too many in a
There's like
day.
way too many. And then Atomic Habits like has a number of things like, okay, let's make it easy by like putting your running shoes by the garage or place things in your path, or if you're trying to get rid of bad habit, let's remove it from your life, and accountability partners, and just like there's so many other things that you can do. And I'm just like, oh, but what if it could just be as simple as aligning to who you really are and remembering it every day? Just
Yeah,
reminding
even just
yourself.
you describing those things sounds more exhausting to me
Doesn't it sound
than what
exhausting?
this has like been.
Yeah.
It actually has been really easy. I even switched my diet when I started this.
Yeah.
I went to whole food plant-based, which my brain likes to throw a huge fit about it, like how I'm missing out on all the things and it's just like, oh yeah, that's just how I eat. Like no drama. Which
It's
is
not a
just what we
problem.
do. It's not a problem.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So let's say that we get to the point where wellness warrior is like you, like you've lived into it enough that it's no longer like a thing, and the chatter that comes from your brain to do other things is just like, it just, it's either immediately disregarded or non-existent. So what would be your next thing that you would probably focus on?
Well, if I was going to pick a big one again,
Yeah.
I really like I'm a $1 million coach.
Oh, yeah.
Feels really good. I think my brain will have a little more drama about that because $1 million is a very concrete thing that I do not have. But I love it. And I think
Yeah.
it, again, that it encompasses all the things I will do in my business.
Yep.
So to just like make, all the things I'm going to do easy, and it's not like a have to, and it's not a chore that, it's on my to-do list. Oh yeah, this is just what we do. Like, that could be really fun.
Yeah, I love that because recently I created a statement just today of being a CEO celebrator. It's like I am a CEO celebrator, and I think the next phrase is like I enjoy the data, finances, and business management. It's like because I don't enjoy those things. Like I know they're important, the data and the finances and the actual business processes and all those things are important, especially when it comes to like scaling your business and making it bigger and doing all the things. And so to be able to create something that feels good and feels fun, I know is going to enable me to do those actions with ease. And I think that's part of the message here is just, hey, is it hard for you to do something? And if it's hard for you, let's walk through this process and make it fun and make it part of who you are. And that way you get rid of all the chatter and you can just get to work doing the things that you want to do.
It
So
makes it so much more fun and so much easier.
I love it. Okay. Well, I'm excited for the $1 million coach part. We'll just work on remembering. And that's what I keep telling telling all you guys and telling the clients that I work with is like the one habit, it's like the one thing you have to worry about is just remembering. It's just reminding yourself. It's just practicing and feeling into the fun statement that you've decided. And as long as you do that, then you can create change much faster and more fun and with less effort. So,
Less effort. That's what we all want.
yes, easy. I like easy.
Me too.
So, let's do that. And I don't know, like, do you have, if you were to tell anyone or give any advice or to say to anybody, hey, like, try this out, or I don't know, what would you say? What would you give as advice for this process?
One thing I had to come to realize was to not look at the evidence that I see in front of me
Hmm.
to believe my statement.
Hmm.
Because I had this epiphany, which I shared in class. I just had this like momentary parting of the veil, just like, this is who you have always been. Here in this little teeny tiny dot of eternity,
Yeah.
where you're looking for evidence, it might not be here, but if you part the veil for a second, you have always been this, always. But that veil makes us forget, right? So it's like not paying attention to the evidence that's right in front of your face that your brain will definitely want to show you, or the lack of evidence.
Right.
And remembering you've lived for much longer than this.
Yeah.
And going to that source to look for your evidence. Because as soon as I tapped into that, that is when it started to feel true to me. Like I could really feel into that statement that it was who I was. And when my brain was focusing on the lack of evidence in front of me, it had a really hard time.
No, I think that's a huge point. I'm glad you shared that because I feel like when a big shift for me has been to own and really believe that I am God's son. And if I am his son and I'm made in his likeness and image, then I do have all those abilities. Everything that I do want is part of who I am. These dreams that I have, these ideals that I want to create my life, those aren't just thoughts. Like that they are wantings of the heart, and that if I can own this identity, own our inherent identity, that yes, we are children of God. Yes, we are made in his likeness. We have all those attributes in seed form or whatever. And with a little bit of belief in that, and we can like, I like how you said just like part the veil. And I guess another way of saying that is zoom out and recognize that you are an eternal being, that you
Right.
existed, that your spirit, like here we have this flesh and this bone and like skin and whatnot, and we can feel it all, but you've all had experiences where it's like something resonates with you. It touches, it hits a chord. And what's so fascinating, it's hard to describe except with analogies, except with art, and except with like other ways of describing what goes on in this soul of ours.
Mm-hmm.
And all I know is that everyone's had something like that, an experience like that. And I think the important part is, can we tune into that? I think that it originates from the heart. So I'm often saying, hey, like direct your attention to that part of your body and just what resonates, like what, like when you hear it, it feels true, like it, or you think it's true automatically. So I don't know. Does that
And
make
maybe that
sense?
the desire,
Yeah.
almost like eternal deja vu or something. Like if you
Yeah.
have a desire to be something, that's because your spirit remembers who you actually are. And it gives you that desire as like a, hello, remember, this is who we are.
Yes.
And that's where your desire comes from. So if you have a desire to be, then you already are. That's your spirit saying, hey, remember?
Oh, I love spiritual deja vu. Yes. Let's coin that. That's super cool. It's just like, oh, I've experienced this once before because this is who I really am. It's who I've
Yeah,
always been. And that's a huge, it really is important. Like is can't just be, you can't just create a statement and just like say it a bunch. And although repetition can help, it is in the feeling and reminding and like tuning into the spiritual deja vu that that allows it to just become easy for you to believe and stop
yeah,
the chatter.
yeah.
Okay. So if people wanted to reach out to you because there's like Mindy is amazing and I want to talk to her more, and if possible, maybe I want to work with her, where would you send them?
They could just find me on Instagram at the Mindy Neal.
The Mindy Neal.
Yep, the one and only.
Awesome. That's so cool. And what would you say like is your specialty when it comes to coaching? What do you love helping people with?
Relationships. I
Okay,
love relationship coaching.
awesome. Okay, so if you guys need help with relationships, Mindy has had over 10,000 hours of coaching. And when you have over 10,000 hours of anything, you get pretty darn good at knowing how to help people.
You
So,
sure do.
and not only that, it's like she knows this process and has applied it and has seen results from it. So I think that there's some cool things that could happen in relationships when applying this. I don't
Definitely.
know if have you tried it with people? Other
I
people have
haven't
you?
yet. No,
Okay. Well, we'll have to change that.
we
And we'll
will
have
have
to
to change
spread that everywhere. Okay.
that.
Okay. Well, I think let's end there. And thank you so much
Thank you for
for
having
being
me.
on.
It's fun.
Appreciate it. All right. We'll see you, Mindy.